watching BTV.
Some of you may remember when we last featured Champion Iron about a year ago. In 2016, they sprung into action, buying the bankrupt Bloom Lake mine in Quebec for under $10 million, an asset that had received nearly $4 billion in investments by its predecessors. Their vision paid off. After making several improvements to the mine, the demand for high-grade iron ore is soaring.
There are two main reasons why this material is so attractive in the world today. One, there's not that many projects that can actually produce high grade in the world. Second, the steel business is working to be able to reduce their CO2 footprint. And by transforming high grade iron ore into steel, they can actually lower their CO2 emission per ton of steel produced.
Following an over $200 million investment to bring the operation back into production, it was time to get to work.
We had an impressive first year of commercial production. It took us about 15 hours to reach sellable quality of one of the highest grade materials in the world, and just under 3 months to achieve commercial production. And if you look at just our last year of operation, we surpassed nameplate capacity by 7%.
With production at the mine in full swing, Champion also repositioned the mine's operating costs to allow the company to compete globally.
If we look at the operating costs when Bloom Lake shut down, they were circa 95 Canadian dollars per ton. And we now operate under 50 dollars Canadian per ton, delivered in the vessel in Sept-Îles.
With operation costs flattened, Champion Iron has been steadily improving its financial position.
In our first year of commercial production, we've managed to improve the cash position of the company by $140 million. We've kept our debt flat, while at the same time buying back the minority stake in the Bloom Lake project. At current iron ore prices, we're generating margins close to about $60 US per ton. We're generating quite a lot of cash.
While the numbers tell a compelling story, the company is already considering plans to double production.
We have a project that we call Phase 2 that was roughly about a $1.6 billion project, where 1.2 has already been invested by the previous owner. We can double the production at Bloom Lake for a very low capital intensive project. The timeline now between a decision and the first tons is 18 months. But the growth trajectory doesn't stop there. We also own 5 billion tons of resources just south of our project.
All this has management feeling pretty good about the value proposed to investors.
We sit on an asset where over $4 billion have been invested in the project, and our market valuation is a fraction of these investments right now. So we're very well positioned to be able to increase value for our shareholders.
The demand for Champion's high-grade iron ore will grow as countries look to kickstart their economies with stimulus spending, much of which will be centered around steel-intensive infrastructure projects.